What's up, everybody? I just wanted to give a quick little update about my little series, Consequences of the Unlucky. I know quite a few of you are looking forward to episode 2, and I swear it's being worked on, just not as much as I would like to, but it is. It's very far behind schedule with me getting sick and holidays. I haven't gotten around to working on it much. I'm trying to get it out as soon as possible with the best quality for you guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support I've gotten for it so far. I hope to bring you the rest of the Consequences cast soon enough. Alright, and with that, welcome back to the Wings of Fire as Humans series. It's been a long time since I've done these. I've been exploring other types of art videos, and it's been very fun, but I promised y'all, like, all the Wings of Fire characters, so we gotta do this first. So we are continuing this series with the villains. I have been exquisitely excited for this one because villains are my jam. So we're gonna start off with the smart sister of the three Sandwing sisters, Blister. Now, Blister is definitely my favorite of the three sisters. I just love cunning and intelligent bad guys who outsmart everyone else, and their main goal is just to push themselves forward, no matter who they leave behind. She's very much an old Disney villain, where she's just bad for power and has no sad backstory like Mommy didn't like her, which I'm sure her mom didn't like her, but that's besides the point. My goal with her was to make her look like a snake, specifically like a rattlesnake or a king cobra, so I made her clothes long and flowy, and gave her a lot of wide fan shapes all over her, like the cobra's crown thing. I also played around with diamond shapes because I imagine Sandwing humans are similar to ancient Egyptians. Not exactly like them, but similar in a lot of ways of they use shapes in their designs and all that stuff. Her design is definitely my favorite out of the siblings and most accurate to the culture I have in mind for them. Next, I worked on Blaze. I feel like Blaze is the fun side of having an antagonist. Her main priority is beauty, and she's not necessarily a bad person, but she's still a quote-unquote bad guy. For Blaze's design, I want to represent what the Sandwing's wealth looked like, so Blister is what academics look like, Blaze is high class, and then Burn is what the military side would look like. I'm just gonna say it, I absolutely hate her original design. Hers and Sky's design are my two least favorite designs I've come up for the human series. It just doesn't look like Blaze at all. I have her warm clothes on top of her fashionable clothes because we see her mostly in the Ice Kingdom, sort of. I imagine she added a Sandwing flair to the Ice Kingdom's clothes and just made her own, and it's just very impractical and efficient, but it looks nice. So girl's got 3 capes on. I tried to cover in lots of gold and jewelry to reflect her gorgeous face. She's gorgeous, darling. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I tried to incorporate a crown into all 3 of the sisters' designs. Burn's crown ended up being her whole helmet. So the top is sort of crown-shaped-esque sort of thing. So Burn is supposed to be pure muscle and power. I wanted her to look intimidating and powerful and brutal, like a barbarian. Her only clothing is armor because I imagine her main focus is just war and fighting, so she doesn't care about anything else but protecting herself, even though she probably doesn't need to, and just looking like an absolute terror on the battlefield. I don't know if I completely like this design. It feels sort of bland and not quite what I was going for, but I like it enough. I feel like it gets the point across. I also sketched a little Burn without her helmet on. Look at her. It's very nice. Queen Wasp's design is definitely another of my favorites. I tried to put a lot of swirls and stripes like what you see on stingers on bees and wasps would look like, and also their stripes. She just looks so regal and powerful, and very much the face of an unfair empire that suppresses people based on their species. I feel like Wasp was a very well written and fun villain. Kind of a forgettable one, but I kind of like that we didn't see her much. She was just this looming force throughout the series that we knew was a threat, but we couldn't see her. We could just see the effects of what she was doing. My least favorite thing, though, was that Sutherland reused the spitting venom on a queen's face thing to get out of a tough situation. It was a major plot point for Scarlet's arc, and it was reused so nonchalantly, it felt like it took away some of the importance and uniqueness from Scarlet's story. It really bugged me. I also kind of wish we got more of a conclusion to her story. After book 13, it kind of felt like she was an afterthought in the plot, or not even there anymore. In her design, I imagine her eyes weren't originally that bright green that I gave her until she consumed the mind-controlling plant. The little pouch around her waist is supposed to be the plant liquefied so she can stab them little leggies. I quietly whine to myself about how I never draw dresses, and I haven't ever drawn a dress before. I have literally been lying to myself for years, and it just dawned on me. My brain do be slow. I know Albatross isn't considered a main villain, quote-unquote, but he served a very important role in Darkstalker Legends and left a big imprint on the fandom, so I thought he deserved a spot in this little lineup. I guess Hawthorne also sort of served a major role at some point, but I feel like most people don't think about him, including me, so I left him out. I tried to make Albatross look very old and wise, like a wizard, with them old man knees and a Gandalf beard. I have nothing wrong with his original design, I just feel like it needed to be put together better, like what I did with Wasp and Darkstalker's design. I made his skin darker too because originally I made him pale like in the books, but if you live in the sun all day, you're gonna get a little tan. So I made him a pale tan, if that's even a thing. Queen Scarlet, and I do mean Queen Scarlet, not ex-Queen Scarlet, you disrespectful heathens, is by far my favorite character in all of Wings of Fire. Call me basic, I don't care. She is fantastic and loved for a very good reason. She is so well written. She is fun, crazy, power hungry, and an absolute baddie. Girl became an urban legend in the Sky Kingdom after she left. The boogeyman for little kids to fear at night. She was a force of nature that kept coming back until, of course, Ruby put an end to that. But I just love this Disney villain-esque queen. 10 out of 10 character. I kept most of her design the same. My main goal was to buff her up because in the book she's described as a unit on 4 legs, so instead of her being like this slim twig like she originally was, I gave her some meat on her bones. I think I did a pretty good job at making a bigger woman look regal and beautiful. I feel like I have a hard time making a variety of body types. Can I just say, this is the most amazing head shape I have ever drawn. It's absolutely spectacular. Let me just start off by saying that Darkstalker would be old during the Jade Winglet series. So many people were saying that I made him look old and that he's not old. He's a teenager and all that stuff. And my response is, you are incorrect, my dear compadres. In the books, it says the older a dragon is, the bigger they are. They do not stop growing. Darkstalker is 1,000 million feet tall, so he is old. He was not frozen in time under the mountain, he was just asleep. But he's immortal, so he didn't die in his sleep. So he would be old when he comes out of the mountain. Now, if we're getting really technical, he'd look like that old guy from SpongeBob, if we're being realistic, but that's not pleasing to look at, so I made him a DILF. I tried to make him look somewhat similar to Arctic. I don't know if I succeeded, but I love his design. He looks like a sorcerer you don't want to mess with. No one pointed this out in his original design, but he had like this white trail down his vest that was supposed to be a silver scales under his wings. I changed it to just be a stripe on his like vest because the original looked a little weird, but I still love it. I definitely toned down all the details on his design. I had so much fun making these videos. These past couple of ones felt sort of like a chore, but I was genuinely excited to work on this one, so I hope you guys enjoy what I've come up with, and I look forward to more. Anyway, bye!